Hey everybody, so I promised you guys another video so that you guys could get some extra practice. So I'm just going to go over problem 4 with you. What I'll do, and this in your book is correct, in my book it's not correct. So this one should actually be a slope of 0. Okay, so what I'm going to do with you guys is I'm going to go over problem A and problem C with you and then let you try B on your own. And then that'll be good practice for the test. So the way that we know to write the equation is we think about our y equals mx plus b equation. And we know that slope is the same thing as 1, correct? And remember, the whole point of this process that we talked about on Tuesday is to figure out what b gives us the closest fit for all that data. And sometimes we might need to change the slope and sometimes we might need to change the y-intercept. But what we're looking to do every single time is we're looking to reduce the error. We want the error to be as small as possible. So whenever, in this case, if we want the slope to be equal to 1, we just write our equation as y equals 1x plus b. So if you remember yesterday, we had our equation, it was y equals 3x plus b. That's because they wanted the slope to be 3. If we want the slope to be 2, the equation for our predicted values would be y equals 2x plus b. Here our slope would be y equals 0x plus b. Okay, so remember that this is the actual output. And we use this equation here to get our predicted output. Does this line come as close as possible to these as possible? So this is our predicted output. All right, so again, to figure out the output, you take the input and you plug it in here. So remember, just like yesterday, each one of these is going to have a plus b at the end. Plus b, plus b, plus b. And all we're doing is we're taking this input and putting it in for x. So 1 times 1 is 1, so this is 1 plus b. 1 times 2 is 2, so this is 2 plus b. 1 times 3 is 3, so this is 3 plus b. 1 times 4 is 4, so this is 4 plus b. So then once we have the predicted output, we want to see how close these actually are together. So this is where we have our, if I could spell, this is, oh my goodness, this is where we have the error column. And if you remember, on Tuesday, the error column is taking the output, the actual output, minus what we predict it would be. So I'm just going to write up here 3 minus 1 plus b. Remember, this negative has to get distributed, so it's really like 3 minus 1 minus b. So the error for this one would be 2 minus b. So each one of these, because this is positive here, is going to have a minus b at the end. And we just have to take this number minus this number. So 4.5 minus 2 is 2.5. 8.1 minus 3 is 5.1. And 8 minus 4 is 4 minus b. Okay? And then if you remember, the next step that we had was we had to square the error. And this was the fun part. This is where our launch from yesterday came into play. I'm going to move this down just a little bit so we can kind of have this. Okay, so each one of these errors we have to square. And remember, you can't just say 2 squared and negative b squared. You have to distribute. You have to use the FOIL method. So the first one, if we take 2 minus b and square it, that means that we have to take 2 minus b times itself. So 2 minus b times 2 minus b. The first time through, we're going to distribute the 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times negative b is negative 2b. And then the next time through, we're going to distribute the negative b. So negative b times 2 is negative 2b, and negative b times negative b is positive b squared. Anytime you do distributive property, your next step is looking for like terms. So negative 2b and negative 2b is negative 4b plus b squared over here, and then there's the 4 out front. So this is the error squared, and we have to do that for each one of the errors that's up here. And remember, I like to write it in reverse order so that we go from the biggest exponent to the smallest. So this would be b squared minus 4b plus 4. All right, the second one that we're going to do is 2.5 minus b. So 2.5 minus b, quantity squared means 2.5 minus b times 2.5 minus b. And again, distribute the 2.5 first. So 2.5 times 2.5 is 6.25. 2.5 times negative b is negative 2.5b. And then we're going to distribute the negative b. So negative b times 2.5 is negative 2.5b. And negative b times negative b is positive b squared. Again, combine our like terms. So negative 2.5 and negative 2.5 is negative 5b. Bring the plus b squared and the 6.25 down. So that's the error squared for the third one, or for the second one. And again, I'm just going to write it in reverse order. So b squared minus 5b plus 6.25. For the third one, again, we have 5.1 minus b squared. So we're doing 5.1 minus b times 5.1 minus b. And again, start by distributing the 5.1. So 5.1 times 5.1 is 26.01. And 5.1 times negative b is negative 5.1b. Okay, come over here, distribute the negative b, so negative 5.1b. And then negative b times negative b is plus b squared. So now combine like terms. Negative 5.1 and negative 5.1 is negative 10.2 b plus b squared, and then 26.01. And then I'm going to just write it in reverse order up here. So b squared minus 10.2b plus 26.01. All right. And the last one. I'll move this back down here in just a second. I'm actually going to erase this, but just so we can do this last one. So 4 minus b, quantity squared. So 4 minus b times 4 minus b. So 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times negative b is negative 4b. Negative b times 4 is negative 4b. And negative b times negative b is positive b squared. So combine like terms, you get negative 8b plus b squared, and then 16. So again, when I write this up here, I'm going to reverse it. So b squared minus 8b plus 16. All right, so now I'm going to take all this stuff off. Not the stuff that we need. I'm going to take all this stuff off. I'm going to scroll back up again. So what we need to do now is we need to add all of these together. So add all of our b squareds together, add all of our b's together, and add all of our constants together. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4 b squares, negative 4 plus negative 5 plus negative 10.2 plus negative 8, I believe gives us did I do something wrong? Negative 27.2b. Hopefully I did that right. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 27.2. And then plus over here, what? 52.26. Okay, so the way that we get the b, remember, this is what we're looking for, is we have, our formula for the b is negative b, so it's the opposite of the b here, divided by 2 times a. So remember when we have quadratics, this is the a, this is the b, this is the c. So our b in this case is negative 27.2. So when we plug it in here, it's going to be the opposite. So we have a positive 27.2 divided by 2 times 4. So 27.2 divided by 8. And that gives us, I did this wrong, 27.2 divided by 8 is equal to 3.4. So now we can rewrite this equation with this as our y-intercept. So we would have y equals, and our slope is 1, so 1x plus 3.4. Okay, so we're going to set this up again. We're going to set this up for when our slope is equal to 0. Okay, so again, our equation this time is going to be y equals 0x plus b. This is what we're looking for. This comes from the slope that they give us. Okay, so again, this is our actual output. This is our predicted output. Okay, this is what we would get if we were to use this formula to come up with our output values. All right, so again, each one of these is going to have a plus b at the end. And the way that we get our input, or our value here, is by taking the input times our slope. So in this case, 0 times anything is always 0. So each one of these is just going to be 0 plus b, and you could even just think about them as b, right? They're all positive b, they're not negative b. So then to get your predicted, or sorry, to get your error, you're just taking this column minus this column. So 3 minus b, 4.5 minus b, 8.1 minus b, 8 minus b. And then remember that the next column is our error squared. So to get the error squared, we have to take each one of these errors here, and we have to do the distributive property on it. Multiply it times itself. Okay? So 3 minus b times 3 minus b. Okay, distribute the 3 first. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times negative b is negative 3b. Negative b times 3, negative 3b, negative b times negative b, positive b squared. Combine your like terms. So 9 minus 6b plus b squared. So this is going to go into our first error squared position. So again, I'm going to reverse. So b squared minus 6b plus 9. Okay? 4.5 minus b, 4.5 minus b. 4.5 times 4.5. I have that somewhere in here. 20.25. 4.5 times negative b is negative 4.5b. Now distribute the negative b. Negative b times 4.5 is negative 4.5b. Negative b times negative b is positive b squared. Combine your like terms. Minus 9b plus b squared, 20.25. And again, I'm going to reverse. So b squared minus 9b plus 20.25. Okay, third one, 8.1 minus b, 8.1 minus b. So distribute the 8.1 first. So 8.1 times 8.1 is 65.61. 8.1 times negative b is negative 8.1b. Distribute the negative b, negative 8.1b. Negative b times negative b is positive b squared. Combine your like terms, negative 16.2b plus b squared, bring down the 65.61. And then up here I'm going to reverse. So b squared minus 16.2b plus 65.61. Oops, last one is the 8 minus b. Slide this down a little bit for now. Distribute the 8. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times negative b is negative 8b. Distribute the negative b. Negative b times 8 is negative 8b, and negative b times negative b is positive b squared. Combine your like terms, negative 16b plus b squared, bring down the 64, and then this is our last error squared. So b squared minus 16b plus 64. All right, so I'm going to get rid of all this down here. Alright, and then I'm going to scroll up so that we can get back up to this one. So now, all we have to do is just add our columns. Okay, so b squared plus b squared plus b squared plus b squared is 4b squared. 6 plus 9 is 15. 15 plus 16 is 31. 31 plus 16 is 47, so minus 47.2b. And then if we add all these together, I believe it gives us 158.86. And then this is the part that's going to help us find the b. So if this is our a, this is our b, this is our c. So remember, we take the opposite of b and divide it by 2 times a. So the opposite of b would be a positive 47.2. Divide that by 2 times 4, which is 47.2, divided by 8, which I believe gives us 5.9. This is our y-intercept. This is what goes into this position here. So we would have y equals 0x plus 5.9, or we could just write it as y equals 5.9. Okay, use that to help you do part B. See if you can get that. Remember, this is going to be on your test on Friday. If you have any questions or you need any help, send me an email. I'll try and remember to check it. Good luck.